Alrighty, so let's get this primer going. Switch over to exercises and PMT to run the tests. And yeah, there are a couple of things that we need. So the first thing, I need to determine whether or not my state is controlled. So specifically my on state. So we can have is on controlled. And because I'm going to be the one calling it, I'm not passing it as a callback or anything. I can make this a regular method. I don't have to do the whole arrow function thing. So regular old method. And I'll return this dot props. Well, here, I kind of gave you the answer right there. That's what Moneybag Marty is all about, is the answers. So then we'll add a get state function, and this will return an object. And yeah, and that has the on property is this dot is on controlled. So if it is controlled, where we get it? Props. Otherwise, this dot state dot on. Great. So we got those two taken care of. And then in our toggle, actually here, before we do that, let's update down here. Instead of, actually pretty much everywhere we use this dot state, we're going to want to use this, except for where we're actually rats. Okay, just be these two places, this dot get state. Because now that state can come from either place. Okay, cool. So then, if this dot is controlled, or is uncontrolled, then we're simply going to call this with our suggestion. So we're saying, hey, if it were me, I would update it like this. Our suggestion is to update it to be the inverse of what it currently is. Otherwise, I am going to manage it myself and update my own state. And that gets our test passing. Okay? So that's control props. I'm not sure exactly how the input component in React is implemented, but I'd like to imagine or dream or make up that it works like this. Something like this anyway. So what questions do you have about this pattern? This is actually a very common pattern. It's been, yeah, people, I mean, this is beginning of React stuff. Definitely useful, useful stuff. So in some ways, it's actually similar to state initializers because you could actually use this to not only control but initialize state, and then you just on change, or on, in this case on toggle, you just keep the parent state updated. And so combining this with state initializers is good because it allows people to either initialize it or entirely control it. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and jump into the elaboration. Marios online is saying, why don't we use component will receive props for this and update state there in there accordingly? I'm actually glad that he asked, he or she asked. So that is actually called synchronizing state, synchronizing state with props. So a component will receive props, and you say, like if the next props has the on property, then this dot set state on is whatever that value is. So that would simplify some things, but complicate others, because now you have two sources of truth in your component, and it becomes a little harder to maintain. So in general, it's it's just makes things a lot easier. In addition, this is actually a deprecated method. So you could use get derived state from props, and actually you could implement this with that as well, the new replacement for this use case. But I've found that it's a lot simpler to just have a single source of truth for where your state is coming from, and it makes the rest of the implementation simpler. Hopefully that answers the question. Okay, cool. So yeah, one person, please tell me what you learned.
I learned that if you can't just do a simple Boolean check on this prop set on within is uncontrolled, since
Okay.
it'll be set to false. So you
Yes.
need to explicitly check for undefined.
Yeah, yeah. So you want to check for undefined. You might also do like null. Like maybe null means I don't want to control it, but I actually like people being able to control it with null. So, but yeah, good point. Okay, that was one. So thanks. You get high five.